Still 18 months to go before the 2014 primaries, but we now have a Democrat dipping his toe into the governor's race. Former Arizona Board of Regents Chairman Fred Duval opened an exploratory committee late last week. He joins us this morning to talk all about it. Welcome back to Square Off.
Thank you. Good to be here.
The conventional strategy is to announce a run about a year out, not 18 months out. You're the first Democrat in. Why form your exploratory committee now?
It's a big state. It's a big task. There's a lot of miles to add to the car, a lot of people to meet, a lot of issues to get deep into, a lot of community leaders to listen to, and I want to make sure that I go about this the right way and really understand and be a part of the conversation with these families across Arizona that are struggling and really hoping for leadership in the state of Arizona.
Plus, there's also a name recognition issue. You haven't held elected office here, and certainly never run statewide. How do you get over that? It takes a lot of money and a lot of time to build that name recognition.
Well, we start with your show, Brahm. That's, where all good, smart politicians come to get name identification. And then I'm just simply going to spend the time getting in front of newspapers, getting in front of journalists and other folks around the state of Arizona, try and say compelling things that warrant news attention, and get my story told.
Richard Carmona floated a trial balloon last month saying he was thinking of running. Are you trying to get ahead of anything he might do?
No, not really. You can't game these things out. You make a decision. Do you have something you want to say? Do you have a sense of where you want to take the state? Are you prepared to make the personal sacrifice to do this? Are you excited about the opportunity to lead? And then you jump in, and that's where I find myself.
Do you know if he is or is not running?
He'll have to speak for himself.
You have spoken to him, though?
Oh, we're friends, and I keep in touch, and he's got a decision to make, and he'll make it in his due course. But I'm making mine and moving forward.
Okay, so let's talk about the why. Why do you want the job?
Oh, Arizona is a critical tipping point. The economy is changing dramatically around the world and across the United States. Arizona is going to have to make a set of different decisions in order to get a piece of the 21st century economy so that Arizona families have hope about the future, that their kids will stay here, they'll have opportunities here. We've got to address education, our education productivity, and our achievement gap, particularly ethnic achievement gap. We've got to solve that in Arizona. Our business community is really anxious that our national image is such they can't get investment, they can't get workforce. We've got things to do to get on with really navigating a pathway for folks to have a sense of optimism that we can feel better about Arizona's future.
Yet the economy is turning. By 2014, things are likely to look much better than they are now, which would seem to reflect well on the Republicans who have led the state for a while now. Our Democrat has not won a statewide race since when? 2006?
2006.
2006. That's a huge challenge. How do you get past that? And more importantly, how does a Democrat appeal to a state that has gone Republican for quite a while?
Well, a couple things. Democrats have won 2 of the last 3, if you think about it that way. That's one way of looking at it. But, it's really not about Republican versus Democrat. It's about future versus past. It's about, can we identify an agenda that Republicans and Democrats alike understand that we need to have to expand opportunity for every family in the state of Arizona. And that has a lot to do with capital formation, it has a lot to do with education, it has a lot to do with nurturing our business community. And a lot of that doesn't lend itself to R versus D. And really, I think the R versus D stuff just gets in the way. It becomes, a fight over petty issues, ideological issues, increasingly irrelevant to the long-term planning, strategic agenda setting that we need for the state of Arizona in order to grow.
I hear what you're saying, yet you know the 2014 election will be in some ways a referendum on Governor Brewer's leadership, on Republicans' leadership in the legislature. Governor Brewer, tell me one thing she's done right.
Her current fight to expand Medicaid to 133% of the poverty level is something which we should all applaud, and I hope that her Republican allies in the legislature will support her on that. It's important for economic development. It's critically important to keep our rural hospitals viable, and it's the right moral thing to do.
The biggest thing she and the legislature have done wrong?
I think the tone of our state is chasing away business growth, and we've got to have a different tone that's a forward-looking tone that's embedded in a strategic plan that sends a signal to the rest of the world. We have a strategy to grow our economy. It's long-term, it's bipartisan, and we welcome you to come here.
All right, the plan for the next few months now, what? Where are we going to see it? What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be all over the state of Arizona, doing town halls, listening to people, engaging them on some of the ideas I have for Arizona's future, building a base, testing, the exploration phase of the campaign. But it won't be a long phase. I'm eager to get going on this. I've got a lot of ideas for Arizona. I'm excited about the opportunity. Brahm, Arizona, it's a fabulous place. We're optimists. And we've lost some of that. We can turn the corner, we can go big, we can get some forward-leaning leadership again, and I'm excited to try and be that person.
You are exploring, but you're definitely running.
That's a subsequent decision to be made, but it'll be sooner rather than later.
Sounds like you're already there to me.
Thanks, Brahm.
Fred Duval, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck to you.
Thanks so much.
When we come back...